morning, beautiful peoples. Welcome to the another episode of Road to Recovery, and this is your host Roop, and today I am going to talk about how to deal with the crippling emotions. When you are coming out of the relationship, you carry so many baggages of crippling memories with you, and you struggle to deal with them, and they can be so crippling. They can affect you mentally, emotionally, physically, in many other ways. So have you ever noticed that you find it so hard to go to certain places? They remind you of your ex-partner, they remind you of people you have ever been with, and those memories can be so crippling, and you feel they affect you deeply. They stops your progress, they stop you from moving on in life. They're like a stumbling block in your healing. As I always say, first thing, you acknowledge them, that there are some memories and they are crippling, they are damaging you, and as soon as you know that there is something wrong, then you can sort of start thinking to build some strategies that how you're gonna deal with them. I have spoken to so many people, and I myself have experienced that certain kind of smells, if some people use certain perfume and your ex-partner have used them, that could be a trigger for you. Or certain clothes, shoes, shops, places, you find so hard to revisit those places where you have been with someone. So why do you think we suffer so much when we come out of the relationship? First thing, that you're grieving, your heart is grieving for that person. You're sort of still in a denial situation where you are trying to comprehend, you're trying to figure it out whether it's actually has happened to you, that person has gone from your life. And that's totally normal. It's a normal process of grieving, that you live in denial for a while. And then after that, you need to give yourself all the time to heal. Don't panic, don't self-abuse, because this is okay, this is normal. It's a process of grieving, so it's not something that is happening to you is just so wrong and you will never get out of it. You will get out of it. Now that you have acknowledged, let's move on. How are we gonna work on them? I remember I used to go to, we have like a shopping centers, Harbour Town. I used to go with my ex-partner, and for like 1.5 years, last 1.5 years, it was so much struggle for me to go back there. I would not get out of the car to begin with, and then I would get out of the car, and my feet would just get like this glued with the ground that I wouldn't be able to move. I just won't move. My sister gave up on me. She said, we're not gonna go there anymore because you don't go. So my first symptom were like I wouldn't get out of the car, but I just kept going and going and going. And then the second thing was, I would get out of the car, but I would not move on. I would not take a step. And then the third thing was, I would take a step, I would go near the shops, but I would run back. But I kept going on and on and on and on. Doesn't matter how much it was hurting me, but I just kept exposing myself. I kept reminding myself that okay, it's okay, it's a normal process. I am grieving, and it's okay for me to grieve for the things I have lost, for the person I have lost, but I am not gonna stop living my life. I am constantly going to remind myself that how worthy I am, how much value I have towards myself, how much I value myself, how much is my self-worth, is my self-love is still intact, or I never loved myself. So I kept going and going and going over and over until I actually started going to the shops and started shopping. And it's really hard. I hear you if you're saying, Rube, you probably don't understand. Trust me, I do. I used to run out of the shops and place and find a corner and cry and sob. It's really crippling. But it's not the solution that you would stop avoiding those places, that you would stop living your normal life. You know, there is a God and He is a healer. And He said, I am the God of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You know, I am the God who never changes. Is sitting on that throne from very long time, and he tells how much worthy we are, how much loved we are, and how much precious we are. We have a purpose of our own life. So sometimes you have to keep reminding yourself how much worthy you are, how much loved you are, until you start seeing physical breakthrough, until you start seeing, okay, I am in love with myself. You know, because we don't love ourselves enough. When you are with someone, somebody else is doing that job for us. Somebody else is expressing the emotions that they are in love with you, and we forget to remind ourselves as an individual that we love ourselves too. You know, you should never ever leave your self-love behind when you are in relationship. Yes, you are two people, like this is your partner, this is you. You know, you come together, you become one, but also you are an individual. So you need to learn to continue love yourself while you are with someone as well. You know, if you stop loving yourself, you are going to lose control over yourself. You are going to lose self-control. You are gradually going to give that control to someone else, and that person is going to empower you, and that person is going to take over the space which is supposed to be yours, which is that individual space where you need to know that how much you're worthy, where you need to know how much precious you are, how much lovely you are, how much beautiful you are. But when you are giving that authority that I am not going to love myself, but you are going to do that for me, then you forget that self-love. So when it comes that your relationship is broken because you have not loved yourself from so long, someone else was doing the job, it is so hard for you to remember that you are loved. It is so hard for you to know that how much your life worth. It is so hard for you to know that your happiness doesn't come from somebody else, but it is your responsibility to be happy. You're losing to be responsible for yourself because you're so busy and looking at someone else that you forget to look at yourself. Has it ever happened to you when you are in love with someone, man or a woman, they have told you to dress up in a certain way, they have told you, maybe I like this dress on you, or no, I like this shirt on you, are you gonna wear that shirt for me? And then because you are totally giving them control, although you love that dress, you love that shirt, but because you've stopped loving yourself, you have given that individual space to someone else. So what are you doing here? You are going to give them this right to decide your clothes. They're going to say, okay, although I'm in love with this dress, but I am going to pass it on. I am going to wear the dress you like, the one you pick for me. I'm gonna wear that shirt, that tie, the one you pick for me, because you have given that authority to them. You have given that power to them. You are no longer making decision for yourself but someone else, because you don't get me wrong, because you're honoring that person, you're in love with that person, but you know what you're doing here? You are forgetting about yourself. You are forgetting about self-love. You're forgetting about that beautiful person who's you. You know, I put a little video a few days ago. It's on YouTube. You can check it out later. And also it's on my website and my page. It talks about the self-worth. You know, we try so hard to be like someone else. We give people authority to define our life. We give the gift of life to someone else. You enjoy my gift, you know, because we honor them. We we're in love with them, which is, it's not wrong to be in love with someone. What is wrong is forgetting about yourself. Stop being who you are called to be. Stop like living a life that makes you happy. If someone is in love with you, he's gonna accept every part of you. He's not gonna say you, oh my gosh, I like your hair, girl, okay, but I want you to cut your hair. I don't like your long hair, I like short hair. Oh, I don't like the color of your lipstick, but I don't like your tie. I don't like your shoes, you have to change. He's changing you. He's not accepting that part of you. What if you are going to change it to, hey, I love your long hair, but have you ever tried short hair? That's something is not gonna make you feel like he's controlling your life, but it's gonna, you are proposing, and it's up to the other person whether they're gonna accept your proposal or not. It's not good to control someone's life. When you are in relationship, don't think you own other person. You're damaging them if you are going into someone's life and you're taking over themselves and you're saying, okay, you are going to dress up like the way I want, you're going to talk the way I want, you're going to meet the people those I would permit you to meet. So this called control, and control is a very, very damaging and a dangerous thing. It cripples the relationship. The relationship doesn't last long. It only lasts longer if you are living, if one person stays submissive. God created men and women to fit each other's need, right? So we need to be equal, we need to be balanced, we need to be on an equal level. So you don't need to lose your individual space. If you are pushing me here and you are here, we're imbalanced. We need to stay on the same place and we need to be on the same surface, right? So what I'm trying to say is love is a beautiful, beautiful thing, but there is a difference between control and love. Love would say, I will do anything for you. Oh my darling, I love you so much. Even when your hairs are messy, girl, I love you so much. It doesn't change anything. It's a control would say, I am only going to love you if you're gonna have your hair cut in a certain way. I'm not gonna love you. Oh, I hate you're fat. This is control. But the love is gonna say, it doesn't matter if you're fat, your body's gonna change. As we grow old, we're gonna have wrinkles, we can be a little bit bigger, out of shape, you know what I'm talking about. But love is going to sustain its place. Love is going to say, I'm going to stay with you. Doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter if you're not 100%. I am going to be with you. My feelings towards you are never going to change on the basis of your appearance, on the basis of your choices. My feelings are gonna remain intact and same, doesn't matter what season of life you are in. But the control is a seasonal thing. It's gonna change when you are going to put your step down that I am not going to wear that dress, the one you picked for me. I'm not going to eat that food, the one you cooked. So, because I don't like it. When you start voicing your likes, dislikes, your choices and preferences, control gets really mad. And control is gonna say, I'm not gonna be with you. Now I'm gonna see what you're gonna do without me. This is what control does. But love is a beautiful thing. He's gonna take all of you. He's gonna take all over you. He doesn't want you. There is a song, it's called he don't give his love in pieces. He doesn't hide himself to tease you. So the love cannot be given in pieces, like I will give you only the best part of me. The love will ask you, give me the worst as well. Show me your vulnerability, show me your weaknesses, and I am going to display my strongest side when you are weak. And the word of God talks about that God is most stronger in your uttermost weaknesses. When you're bringing your heart, when two people are having arguments, right? Rather than ripping each other apart, what we can do is one person is going to just sit down and calmly listen. Okay, I am going to be a good listener. What are your concerns? Can you tell me? How can I make things better for both of us? Or you know what? You don't need to say anything. Just hug that person, give them a biggest hug and tell them how beautiful they are, how lovely they are, Sometimes that's the best way to calm the storm. When other person is angry, just give them the biggest cuddle and just allow them to express their feeling. What are they feeling, how they're feeling, and when they're calmed down, when one person who was having argument, when he's more calmer, you can just sit down and say, okay, so you had a bit of turnover, so now if you are ready, can I talk about my concern? It's all about growing together. Relationship is all about growing together. Remember, when you are first in love, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna blush probably. When I was in love, when I first fell in love, I was a young teenager girl. What happened when you first see the guy, right? You feel that butterflies and you're blushing, you're having all the goosebumps and those kind of feelings, But as your feeling grows, you get to know more people. You get to know him in a more depth, in a more detail. Your feeling doesn't change, but you don't feel any more butterflies. That doesn't mean that you don't love that person anymore, that the level of your love has changed, it's gone down. No. Your love has grown so much stronger. You have grown further above from the butterflies to something else, like your soul is connected with each other. Your feelings are connected with each other. Have you ever seen two people, they're in love, one person will say the half thing, the other one just complete the sentence? This is how you grow, because you're knowing each other so well. But sometimes when you forget to love yourself, you are creating that imbalance in the relationship. You should be together. You should make a one unit when you come together, but please also keep your own individual space, grow individually and grow together. There are so many things. This person here can have so many weaknesses which he or she need to work on, and this person as an individual might have so many other weaknesses that he or she need to work on. But when we accept that we are two different people and we need to acknowledge our strength and weaknesses, and we both need to work on them on individual basis, then what you work on those things, and then when you're coming together, you're building that strongest relationship. So when you go through, when a time comes, God forbid, I do not wish anyone to have a relationship breakdown, it just hurts so much. It's painful. I would not wish that for my worst enemy, that they need to go through something like that. But if unfortunately, or you have gone through something and you're struggling with these feelings where your heart is so much broken and you're finding hard to go to the places where you used to go with the man or a woman you were in love with, the best thing is, first thing, as I said to begin with, acknowledge your feelings, that it's okay, it's a part of the trauma, it's part of the grieving process. Secondly, do not stop going to those places. Allow your heart to get healed. Give your heart exposure to the challenges, to the fear, and one day you're gonna reach to the place where no longer those places, those fragrances, those dresses, shoes, shops, they will not haunt you anymore. Because you know the most important thing you need to do, you need to remind yourself that I love myself. I'm an individual, and as an individual, I am altogether lovely and I am altogether worthy. There is nothing wrong. Okay, I am grieving for my broken relationship because I I was in love with this person, but you know what? Now is the time when I am going to pick all the broken pieces. If you have not seen one of my video I posted last week, it's about the transitioning, you know. But there are things you cannot control. The relationship break, a broken relationship, out of control thing, you know, abuse, assault, trauma, you cannot control. But your transition, you can. So that video talks about it. Your transition, you totally can control. There are so many. When you go through brokenness, you are broken in many bits and pieces, right? So now it's a time for you to remind yourself, put your individual shoes on and remind yourself that, girl or boy, you know what, I am going to be a stronger person. I'm going to love myself. I am going to start from where I left myself last time. So before I met that guy, before I met that person, who I was. So I'm going to pick all the broken pieces. I'm going here, there. I'm picking my courage. I'm picking my worthiness. I am picking self-love, I am picking my intelligence, and I am picking my self-control. And now that I picked all those pieces together, I'm gonna join them together and they are going to form me. They are going to form you. Because now that you have learned to love yourself, now is the best time to face your giant. You're gonna go out there. One day it's gonna be hard, second day is gonna be less hard. You keep exposing yourself, keep reminding yourself who you are, what your goal is, who do you want to be. It is so important that you need to ask yourself this question: who do you want to be in this season? Am I going to feel sorry for the rest of my life? I'm going to be a crying baby. I'm going to keep crying and go on an antidepressant and end up in a mental health ward. Or I am going to, just give up on myself. Sometimes you are the only person who can help yourself. So keep going to those places. Those are haunting you. When you're walking, it's almost feel like walking through the valley of shadow of death. Your eyes need to be on your goals. Your eyes need to be on the prize. And you're saying, okay, although I'm walking through this, although it feels like, so bad, my memories are haunting me, I am surrounded by my enemies, I am not doing so well, but what am I gonna do? I am going to remind myself that I'm learning to love myself. It's okay to say I'm learning to love myself. I am learning to remind myself that how worthy I am. I'm declaring those things I am. I'm a smart woman. I'm a stronger person. I am a great person. I am going to be okay. I am going to be okay. I'm going to face the giant. And when you're doing that, you are shifting the environment around you. You are changing your impossibilities to possibilities. You are resurrecting those dead situations around you. You're bringing them to life. You are learning to self-love. You're learning to love yourself. You're learning to be worthy again. You're taking that space. You're taking ownership on that space which you have given to someone else. Okay, you are taking the ownership of your individuality. You're taking the responsibility to be happy. It's not man's job. It's not woman's job to make you happy. It's your own job to be happy. They can cultivate it. They can add more spice into your happiness, but to be happy is your responsibility. Do not say this thing to other, you don't make me happy. It's not his responsibility to make you happy. It's not her responsibility to make you happy. It's your responsibility to be happy. Joy comes from here, from your heart. Joy doesn't come from like somebody else. That's a temporary joy. But joy comes, the everlasting joy comes from God, comes from within you. When you know that it's your responsibility to be happy, you would do better. You're gonna feel a shift, you're gonna feel a change in life. And it's so important that, as I said, ownership for your happiness, responsibility, and ownership for your space. Do not let that go. When you are, or if you're thinking to go in a relationship, or if you are in a relationship, I just want to encourage you that own your individual space. Together you can be one, but you also need to know who you are as an individual. Do not forget about your identity. Do not forget about the purpose of life, the responsibilities you have as an individual. Do not pressurize one person. It's going to create imbalance, you know. Do not allow someone else to control your life. So I just want to pop a question before you. Are you in a love, or are you in a controlling relationship? So if you are in a love, I'm telling you, the love is going to embrace every single part of you. The love is going to say, you are so worthy. You're so beautiful. Even when your hairs are messy, when you are so angry, when you are yelling and screaming, you know. Oh my gosh, boy, you look so handsome. Girl, you look so beautiful. I have noticed when people are going through something like this, okay, when they're angry, try to remind them how beautiful they are. I went through a season once when I was a teenager, right? I ended up going to the psychologist. This guy took time to remind me when I was most depressed that he started talking about my achievements, what I have done best in my life. He started talking about my dreams. He started talking about my gifting. He started talking and reminding me all the things I was doing in past, and that made me happy, and I achieved so much. Sometimes that's all you need, a reminder that how beautiful you are, how amazingly you can impact the world with your gifting. So just give yourself exposure. Do not you be afraid from going to the places those are still hounding you, crippling you. Just keep going there. Keep reminding yourself. Once you learn to love yourself back again, when you have earned that individual space, you're gonna be okay. The day you are going to walk, as I now, I can go to Harbour Town any time. I used to like see in my head how I used to hold my ex-partner's hand and we're walking hand by hand. I'm like crying while going through that. But I didn't stop going there. I went over and over, and now I am going. I don't see him anymore in my head. The memories doesn't, you know, cripple me anymore, because all I did reminded myself, I'm an individual. I am a person. I am, you know, gonna take ownership of my space again. If I am to fall in love again, I would never ever give my individual space to someone else. You know, you need to own that place. It doesn't mean that it will affect your feeling for another person or you would stop loving themselves. No. It means that you are loving yourself, and then you're loving themselves. When you're loving yourself, your heart is growing stronger. And when you love someone with a stronger heart, it's gonna create and build a stronger relationship. Hope this video helped you, and I will see you in the next episode. And please, if you like the video, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friend. Until then, bye.